Hey, what's up everybody? Today we're going to be talking about refillable cartridges and how to fill them and install them. It can be a bit confusing at times, so let's go over a few things before I actually start filling some of these. Okay, so first off, I'll give you a good view of these cartridges. These are for Epson 1430 or 1500W in some countries. Okay, we'll just put these back down. And a lot of people get confused on where to fill these cartridges and what plug to leave out. Okay, so here's how you know. Normally when you look at the cartridge from sideways, wherever you see that hollow section, this is your fill hole. Wherever you see these grids on the side, that's your breather hole or your air hole that you leave it out. You have to leave that out, otherwise it won't print. It'll just stifle the cartridge, so you always leave that plug out. Here's the confusing part. So that's with this set of cartridge. Here's another set of cartridge from a different manufacturer. If you notice, the chips are on the other side. If I turn it around, actually, these are the chips on this side. You guys can see. Okay. So if you look at the plugs are on opposite sides. Right there. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab the yellow ones to show you guys the difference. Okay, so on these, the ones that we looked at earlier, the first ones we just looked at, if you look, the fill hole is on the front towards the chip. This one, the fill hole is also on the front where the chip is. Okay, but if you look at the plugs, the yellow plugs are in different position. This one has the yellow plug where the breather hole is, and then this one has the yellow plug where the fill hole is. So a lot of times people get confused. So don't watch the plugs, just look at the cartridge itself. Wherever you see the hollow section, that's where you're gonna fill. That's where you're gonna stick your needle in or your syringe and fill it. Wherever the grids are, so you guys can get a better view right here, that's where these are the plugs that you're going to leave out. So this one you're going to leave the yellow one out, this one you're going to leave the white plug out. Okay, these you always leave in. You always put the fill plug back in. So both of these you would put the fill plug back in, you leave the breather hole out. You leave the plugs out for those. So these, I'm going to get these out of the way and I'm going to work on that set. See if I could zoom in a little bit. Okay, so let's fill the yellow one. You're gonna need like a little screwdriver right here, or a pick, or anything that could get your plugs out. So I'm gonna just take the a little white plug out. Just like that. Got the plug out right here. Try to get a better view. Okay, leave that empty. Then you're gonna take out your yellow plug. So now your cartridge it's ready to add the ink to it. Now you're gonna get your syringe and one of your needle attachments. Attach your needle. And another thing, get like a little tub with water or a little bucket or something like that. It's just like an apple juice bottle that I cut, because that's what you're gonna put your used syringe in. Zoom out a little bit. I'm gonna grab the yellow, grab it out of the way, and just pull some out. The reason I use the syringe, it just makes it a lot cleaner, because you could just use the syringe by itself. The reason why I use a needle, it's less messy, because you could just stuff a syringe in here and get the ink in like that. But I prefer to use a needle. So you just stick it in there, and then you just slowly Let's see if you guys could get a good view. Okay, just right here. Just slowly pump it in. Like that. And it takes just about 1 syringe. You don't have to fill it all the way to the top. So, but it takes just about 1 syringe. Then all you gotta do is put your white plug back in. This is where the fill hole, right, took out of the fill hole. So I just clean up around that part, and I'll put the white plug right back in here. And like I said, you leave the breather one out. So that one you're gonna leave open. So, because as you can see, it's slowly filling up, but it's gonna reach a point where it stops because it's letting in just the right amount of air, so the cartridge will function properly. If you put that plug back in, it won't print. It'll act like it's printing, but there won't be any ink coming out of it. So you leave that empty. Right now I'm just gonna plug it so it doesn't spill for now, just to get it out of the way. And I'll do one more. So this thing here, your syringe, you just put it in some water. Pull up some water real quick. Get in the camera view. Yeah, so you just pull up some water, press it back out, just so the ink doesn't dry in it. And you just leave it. Just leave it like that. Get your yellow out of the way. Clean that up. And let me do one more actually. Let me do the black one. Like I said, you just take the fill plug out. Right here. You take your breather or air plug out. Those two aside. And you grab a new syringe. Put your needle attachment on. I'm doing the black ink. For this one, I'm just gonna stop like right before I actually get to the point where it's maxed out. I know it's just gonna take just about a syringe full. Then you stick it in your fill hole. You pump it in. You guys got a good view. Just slowly fill it, because you don't want it to spill over. And like I said, don't even fill it all the way to the top, because what happens is when your carriage is moving from left to right, when it's printing, if it's filled all the way to the top, then it'll spill over. That's why you see a lot of times when you watch those videos, the printers are so messy because they fill it up all the way and then it gets spilled over. So then you take your white plug and you put it right back into the fill hole. And like I said, you always leave the breather open. The only reason I'm putting this one back in is because I'm not ready to install them as yet. So I'll just leave that aside. And that's that. Another thing I'll probably let me talk about in this video. If you're not planning to run white ink, because here's all the colors. If I got a good view. If you're not planning to run white ink, because you put yellow in yellow, black in black, white ink in light cayenne, white ink in light magenta, then you put magenta back in magenta and cayenne back in cayenne, right? In that order. But I've had customers already that did not want to use white ink. They just wanted to use just the regular, just the primary colors. Okay, so what you do in that case, you still have to install the cartridges, but you don't want it to run dry in the printhead, because at times your printhead will be doing a printhead clean. It's going to start looking for ink to spray. So what you do is, instead of leaving it dry, you fill these two, for light cayenne and for light magenta, you're going to fill those with cleaning solution. That's why I got that in the picture. Let's see if I got a... So I got the cleaning solution right here from Firebird. Okay, so you would fill these two, light cayenne, light magenta. These you would fill with cleaning solution. So whenever you're doing a print, they won't print at all. They won't print cleaning solution. It will just use those primary colors, the yellow, black, cayenne, and magenta. And then the only time these will actually be used is when the printer is doing a printhead clean. Okay, which is actually good because once these start spraying, it'll clean your capping station line basically whenever you do a printhead clean. And that's about it. Also, always have an extra set of cartridges. I got a set close by. Let me grab it. So I got a set of cleaning cartridges right here. Zoom in on these. So this is my cleaning cartridges basically. These are all filled with cleaning solution. You can see. So on days that I'm not going to use the printer, because textile inks can clog easily, especially the white ink, you would remove all of those and you would install these and you would run maybe 2 to 3 printhead cleans, and that should clean out your printhead. You still have to manually clean around the other places, which I'm gonna do a video of, but this will keep your printhead itself from clogging, which is the most important part. The other parts you have to do manually, which isn't hard. Okay, so get this out of the way. So that's it. That's how you fill your refillable cartridges. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know.